Hey, everybody. This is Dominic D'Angelo of Premier Streaming Network of several outlets, all that malarkey. But it is episode 14 today of One of a Kind, and I am here with none other than Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Wednesday Night sometime, just this couple weeks ago, and Mr. Thursday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View, Mr. Money in the Bank. We could go on and on. It is Rob Van Dam. Rob, welcome back to your show, man.
Thanks, dude. Glad to be here.
Thanks, man. It's been a pretty. How's your week been after it's the dust has settled with AEW and all the reaction you've got, good, bad, whatever it may be? How's it all feeling for you this week?
It is. It's been pretty awesome. On the business end, I'm busy as always, and of course now a lot more people are interested because now I'm hot, and people see I can go. I'm getting a lot of wrestling offers, which I don't think I've responded to most of them yet, and some I will maybe, but yeah, personally we've been on a little bit of a party run. Katie's got this new friend, and it makes us more social. So instead of just being homebodies, we're seeing a little bit of the town, seeing a little bit of Vegas, and having fun.
Are you going to any new spots in Vegas like that you haven't been familiarized with or anything?
Yeah,
like
there's so many I haven't been to. Dude, Vegas is like so fun. Oh my God, look at that bicep. Vegas is it's so big. Like ever since even before I moved here, I always think like, wow, someday. And I always think like if I was retired, I would go out somewhere different to eat like every single night, which I could do anyway, but I don't want to leave home when it comes to real life. But even just a few blocks around, there's so many places I drive by all the time and have never had a chance to go. But that's my optimistic thinking, is I always think, yeah, someday I'm going to pop in there and have a beer, or going to have dinner there someday or whatever. And so yeah, I feel like I've probably seen, I don't know, maybe 1% of Las Vegas. Yeah.
Wow. See, I thought you were like all over the place. I didn't know that.
No, it's cool. I like to be seen. It's cool, when I go out and on a lot of the events or reasons to go out are connected to casinos. We don't gamble, but we walk through a lot of casinos in the big hotels on the strip because you have to, and it's cool. Also they're cool. I like them, but but it's cool when people spot me and they're all excited and they, dude, you made my whole vacation or whatever, and it's like I feel a little obligation to put myself out there like that, and it's really cool to be able to have that energy on people, and just because it's Las Vegas, it reminds me of a lot of the things I read when people say, that, oh yeah, man, you could like, Frank Sinatra could be sitting like right at the bar next to you, and this Little Caesar, or you what? Not Little Caesars, at Caesars, whatever the really, yeah, anywhere, yeah, he was in several, but anyway, I like that, as far as being part of the culture, dude.
You're gonna be like Wayne Newton, like just the.
I met him so long ago. Dory Funk Jr. and his wife Marty introduced me to Wayne Newton. There's pictures out there somewhere of us at Silver Springs in Ocala. He was so cool, so nice, and wow, man, what a career he's had. Just
a Vegas staple right there, man.
Being himself, man, singing the same lyrics for 110 years, still smiling. What a guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hey, we do have some feedback here. So,
Duck and Shave.
It's so crazy when you hear that song. It sounds like a girl singing. And that's the kind of like what he's got. But like, fucking Wayne Newton, man. It's Wayne Newton. Man. All right, here we'll start with this one. IK Broski says, beyond happy to have been there for that amazing match. That chair bouncing on the rope was wild. Yeah.
No shit, man. That was, and I've never seen that happen before. That was so crazy. It was just, I had to take a double take. Dude, what is holding that? How can I capitalize on it? Should I go bounce off the other ropes and jump up and try and sit on it? And
that would have been something.
I would have tumbled right over the rope on my neck. But
What a spot that would have been like a Sabu spot. You're botching it unintentionally.
right, exactly. That was crazy though, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh man.
one of a kind moment.
No doubt about it. Speaking of which, quality match that served its purpose. Keep getting paid, Rob. So, let's see.
Yeah, man, I like the match.
Yep, I did too, man. Did you hear Cornette's feedback on it? I know you listened. We talked about the clip before last week.
No, I haven't. I saw the animated thumbnail, and
Yeah.
and I just, but yeah, I haven't.
Let me say it's not worth it because it's just like he says stuff, and it's just like anytime I listen to Cornette, I very much align with his opinion a lot of times on certain things.
Yeah,
But
me
he's
too.
very negative, and I almost hate what I do when I listen to it. I'm like, why am I doing this? So it's just I don't know, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, but he's negative, I think, overall because he's unhappy about the current status of the business, and so he's speaking from that perspective of disapproval. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I agree with a lot of what he says too, but I didn't tune in to hear him say, RVD's stiffer than a possum's pecker in Penfield on prom night.
Rob, I was trying to relay it to like my brother and some of my buddies, like you saying all this stuff. I was like, coming up with it off the cuff, and I was like, I couldn't do it justice. It was
that's his whole stick, though, right?
Yeah, it is his whole stick. Now somebody does go to bat for him. Triple Mania, RVD, Cornette, put your looks over big. He said
my looks
exactly the same.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought he meant I was a handsome man because I have heard.
Maybe. Well, you're dashing good Rob Van Dam right there as a compliment. Probably just doesn't know your entrance when he said you were stiff. He also is not familiar with your moveset. He's definitely not familiar with your moveset. I'll say that. Particularly the chair stuff. You should listen to what he said again. So he is definitely not familiar with the Rolling Thunder because he was like, I don't understand that spot. Yeah, he had no idea about the Rolling Thunder or nothing like that.
He didn't understand it?
He didn't understand it.
Probably because I lost some momentum. Like usually I'll get the momentum into the jump, and the roll actually helps me like jump higher and stuff. And this one wasn't the best one, which a lot of people will take is meaning everything. He doesn't do it like he used to, whatever. But every once in a while that happens. I mean, I remember for a while there, I got in I think it was the 2010 run with Impact.
Mm-hmm.
But I started like really playing with the Rolling Thunder, and I would like the tighter I tuck, in the quicker I can get my feet under me, I could get that momentum to be like boom, and really like launch me up there. So I started in the air. I started like doing the thumbs and then tucking, and it was really hard to get that in. It was so quick, I'm not sure if everyone caught it, but while I was working on that, I kept like landing on my head. so eventually I said, yeah, let me, maybe I'll come back to that later. Let me get my Rolling Thunder back because I kept going boom. And some of the times I'd land like straight down on the dude. There's so many TV matches I did that and right straight down, pile drive myself on them. And sometimes the boys afterwards say, dude, are you all right after that Rolling Thunder? It looked like you killed yourself. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Ooh, bit of an adjustment.
But by the way, so like in an ideal world, Jack would have been an extra foot or so towards the ropes. I would have had the confidence, to do the roll into the dive. But because he was a little too close to me, I get there's a little mental, I don't know what I call it, blockage, but there's something that pops up because sometimes they'll be in the middle and my feet will hit them. It'll completely stop my momentum. The worst time, well, I don't know, live action is pretty bad. But when I did that show, City Guys, in I don't know, 96 or whenever, it was so long ago.
Wow.
NBC TV show, kids show, City Guys. And I played RVD and we were wrestling. And I told dude, whatever it was, the dude was right in the middle. And I thought at that time I hadn't fucked it up enough to know not to go for it. And I hit the ropes and I did my roll, and my bottoms of my feet hit his arm because he's laying there, and I just completely stopped. And I had to stand up and then go boom, and I just splashed him. And afterwards, I kept telling him, please don't use that take. Please, please. I mean, there was a couple other good takes, just, please don't. And they were like, oh, no, we're professionals. We're not going to do that. But because it was just background and it wasn't about that, it was about the people talking in front of the camera or whatever, they totally used that take.
They used it? Oh, no.
I could see Jim Cornette seeing that and saying, I don't understand the move. There was no momentum. It was a wasted somersault. And then what's he do? Nothing he couldn't have done without the somersault. I can't get that. That was my attempt to get that pitch. That didn't quite work.
What the figgity fuck? Okay, so we got some more feedback here. I haven't seen this is Lisa Thompson. I haven't seen RVD wrestle in decades. My bad. I have to say, he didn't miss a step and hasn't aged a day. I loved his match with him and Jack Perry. It was a thoroughly entertaining bout. Thank you, RVD.
Right on. Thank you.
Now this one, I did not know about this, Rob. Maybe you can give me some details about this here. Magic Bull says, love the match. Also loved your match against Dante Martin a while back in Mall of America. Hope you signed with AEW. I did not know you fought Dante Martin.
Yes, it was a tag match technically. His partner was who was my partner then? I guess his partner was Ari Daivari.
Oh, okay.
My partner was Sunny. What's her name? Sunny Kiss.
Sunny Kiss, yeah.
That's what it was.
Wow, really?
Yeah, in Mall of America, it was a really big show, and it was a lot of fun, and it was like the first place that first or last, I think the first place that I think WCW did Nitro, some kind of history like that everybody knew.
It was the first, it's the first Nitro took place there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Surprised people and all that. That's awesome though. Like, oh man, I love Dante Martin, such an athlete, and then Sunny Kiss, a personality and a half. So it's that'd be a lot of fun.
I ran into Sunny Kiss at a lot of shows all over.
Yeah, she's great. I like him. All right. Let's see. So I gotta ask this, Rob. Have you watched any wrestling this week?
None.
I
don't think so. Nope.
And you had an interview with Denise Salcedo, and you were talking about your favorite movies. I wanted to bring this up real quick. What are your thoughts on Donnie Brasco as a Mafia movie?
I like it. I mean, I like Johnny Depp a lot. I thought they did a good job, really good job telling the story.
Yeah.
And fuck Al Pacino. Come on.
Can't beat out, man.
Right. They they made a few changes as you have to tell a story, and kind of made like Al Pacino's character was a little bit of a conglomeration because he was a lefty Ruggiero, and I guess in real life, like in the movie, he knows he's going to get whacked, and when he leaves, he takes his jewelry off and all that stuff. But that was actually according to history, that was actually done. Lefty went to jail. He didn't to prison. He didn't get killed. But the guy that Michael Madsen plays, Sonny Black, that guy got whacked, and that was what he did. He left his jewelry and stuff. I think it was with his bartender at his lounge, and he knew he was going to get whacked. And then when they whacked him, it seems like it was a lot like in Goodfellas when he played Tommy DeSimone, Joe Pesci. Tommy DeSimone's the real character's name. Anyway, like he went. Didn't they go downstairs and then whack him there? Is that where it's?
They whacked him in like this, I think it was like a shed or something like that, or like.
Remember a garage door opening up, and they go into a garage. Anyway.
Oh, fuck.
But anyway, with Sonny Black, the guy that Michael Madsen played in Donnie Brasco, they shot him, and the first shot didn't kill him. And according to legend, he's down on his knees, and he grabbed the gun and put it on his head and said, "Do it again and make this a good one."
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm a big one on that. Casino was great too, as we talked about on the hidden episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the one that we never aired, huh?
that's the one that's never aired. So we're keeping that one.
I thought we were gonna have to maybe today, but we'll squeeze another short one in here before Katie and I got to head to the airport, and we are in New Jersey this weekend at this big Wrestle Bash, I think it's called.
Oh, really? Okay.
About it. You know what? We should put by the time they see it, I guess it'll already be Monday, unless they watch it on Friday.
Or unless they watch it on Friday or something. But maybe what I could do too is
I should give you flyers for this shit, man.
Clips.
Boom, big upgrade in the show happening right now.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Going down. Is that the boardwalk one that is like happening at the Jersey Shore kind of thing? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I think it's fuck. I'm gonna find it right here. It's not Long Branch.
Is like Crowbar at that one? Somebody else that thinks at that one?
There's a lot of guys. I'm gonna see if we can show the poster. If it'll show up. Can never find a photo when I'm looking for it or a
How it
mess.
always goes.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a lot of guys. Sabu happened to just tell me yesterday that he's in New Jersey this weekend. I'm like, dude, I think I have to. Yeah, it's called Wrestle Bash 2, and it's in Fairfield, New Jersey. That doesn't sound like a boardwalk to me, but I don't know.
No. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, there's something that's going on there too. Maybe there's two different shows going down, but hell, man, if anybody's in the New Jersey area, go see RVD.
Yeah,
do it.
And that poster that I had there just had me, so I'm Googling it because I know I saw a poster with a bunch of people on there, but I'm about to give up, man. I need a producer. Oh, wait, I have a producer.
I could pop it up. You know what I can do? I can put it up on our social media, and also
Sweet. Let's do that.
I can tap YouTube Chris, hit on your Twitter too. So, let me see here. Where's my
we got EVP and Bischoff. And
oh shit!
Lucha Bros, Two Court Scorpio, Adina Steele.
So it's like a kind of like a big hoo-ha get together.
It's a big wrestling convention. Angelina Love.
All right.
Angelina Love.
Man, they were great. I love the Beautiful People. I thought that was such a cool faction. They were a lot of fun back then.
TNA. Interesting times that was.
No doubt about it.
Yep. All right. Anyway, yeah.
So we got a wrestler spotlight this week.
Okay.
And it is none other than Shawn Michaels going down. We're talking about it this week.
All right.
Yes. So,
hey.
When did you first meet Shawn?
I don't recall. I don't remember. I would think it was probably during the Raw in the Invasion when we did probably. But I honestly
2002 when he came back. Because he would have been gone. I think he came back. I want to say like mid 2002.
Okay.
Something like that, because it was after Scott Hall left, I know, from the NWO, and he was released from WWE, because then Shawn Michaels later on.
I may have met him before that. I really don't know, and I just assume, like, especially when you come to a new company, you're going around meeting everybody, and like 1 out of every 5 times that I say, hey, good to meet you, someone's going to say, dude, we've met before. And I'm like, oh, I know, good to see you.
Yeah. That's the way to handle it, though. I mean, how many people you meet? It is. I can only imagine how hard it is to keep track of.
Yeah.
So okay.
Might have met him as a fan. I don't think so, though. I don't remember because I don't think because I only got WWF when I grew up, and those were the only shows I went to. And I don't think he was with them until I, started like real early in my career.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's kind of the next question. Were you a fan of the Rockers? For our younger viewers, the Rockers were the tag team Shawn Michaels was a part of with Marty Jannetty.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Dango were inspired by them. I remember we saw this really this really weird exercise. I guess it was during a promo. Maybe they're warming up for a match or something. A backstage vignette, and I guess it was Marty had a towel like wrapped around his wrist so he could hold the towel, like taunt, like
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think Shawn was doing the super kick, like practicing hitting the towel. And I remember me and Dango doing that just because we saw it, and thought it must be a good idea to practice kicking a towel.
Go try this at home.
Yeah.
At home.
But yeah, I loved when the Rockers wrestled Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond. That was, for me, that was the heyday of appreciating their body of work.
That was in the AWA, correct?
WWE.
Oh, okay.
When they brought it there, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Because I remember seeing clips of them with DDP on the ringside. What was the name?
I think Paul Diamond had a mask on, maybe, and was called something else. Maybe.
Oh, okay. The Diamond Exchange. I think that's what they were called in AWA, if I remember. Not
I think so.
Yeah. Speaking of Marty, did you get to see the Dark Side of the Ring with him?
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts on that? I didn't get to see it, but
my thoughts were I need to call Marty, make sure he's okay. It was a great show. I think it's always a great show, and it was interesting, and I learned a few things. But that sounded like the crazy Marty that I know.
Yeah.
But as far as at the end, they're leaving you with that suspicion that maybe the story of him killing that dude that tried to molest him might have some truth to it. I didn't expect that, because I think he told me before, that it was bullshit, and then that was just his story at the moment, I guess. That was just what he was saying at the moment, and who knows what he says any other moment. So yeah. They caught him pretty good, and I feel bad for him having all that pain in his feet, and I know that's true.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just the life of a wrestler that has kind of lived that existence has to be. I mean, it's difficult to not only survive but just exist after that. So.
Yeah. A lot of projects that I talk about with people never happen, or some of them are in weird, different embryonic stages of development, and it's like Eddie Mansfield, he's a producer, he used to be a wrestler and wrestler promoter. He and I were talking about a show very much like Dark Side of the Ring before Dark Side of the Ring was ever a show. I even shot like a what you call a sizzle reel, for a demo, and it was telling the stories just like this of wrestlers dying and getting their family in on it. So very, very similar. So similar, Eddie probably thinks that they took it or something. But one of the ideas he had was to do Marty Jannetty's story, and also Matt Bourne, and follow them on the road at the time, which was, I don't know, it seems like it was like 7-8 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And the idea was he wanted to get the money and to get Marty the surgery they needed on his feet, and have that be part of the arc of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been great too. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you look back at like the movie, like Beyond the Mat and stuff too, and how they followed like Terry Funk around and shit like that. It's just like, yeah, that would have been a very different take with like the in-person slice of life kind of aspect to it all too. So.
Yeah. And these guys were still working, little indie shows and stuff. So, could show the fall from grace to where they're at, get their perspective. But anyway, there's so many ideas for shows, like I said, that are sometimes pitched and not picked up or whatever, and this was just one of them that I don't know if it's completely dead, but now Dark Side of the Ring pretty much nails that spot.
That kind of hits that niche kind of thing, so to speak.
Sure.
I haven't. Have you seen the Tales of the Territories? The more kind of lighthearted one aspect.
I haven't seen it all, but I saw 2 or 3 of episodes of it. Yeah,
that'd be a fun one to check out too. I got to catch up on so many of those ones. But
yeah,
a lot of it to some of the points. I know Road Dogg was talking about seeing the. Oh my God, why am I blanking? The Candido episode. He was like, I couldn't finish watching it because I was friends with him, and it's just a tough watch. It can be a tough watch, and I can only imagine. For fan, it's just like that. For somebody that's a colleague, sometimes that has to be tough.
Yeah, I guess before this show came out, I think a lot of fans had no idea how crazy the the road life is of the wrestlers. Like in general, and just they're learning a lot more about what's going on behind the scenes, which is frowned upon by the old schoolers, but at the same time, they're like. It's very enlightening, and just like always, I always think people should know history so they can see where we came from, so they can be cognizant of our movement to see how we are improving, where we came from, and then have optimism that we're going somewhere. We're not just here. Oh my God, this is happening. Yeah, but look what used to happen.
Right. Look at how far we've come from this to that. And
goes with anything, I mean, sometimes it's the other way around, and sometimes things are falling apart, and you see that too. But always about the bigger picture when you can try to see it.
Absolutely. All right. So in the mid 1990s, in the magazines and the internet, you would sometimes get compared to Shawn. Did you ever see any similarities between you two in any way when you were going up in the business before?
I guess just by us being good looking and having blondish brown hair, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I've always had people ask me if I'm Shawn Michaels, like always,
Wow, really?
when I was younger in my career and really trying to make a name for myself and, really opinionated and judgmental about him, I used to be offended by that, you know what I mean? And I would take offense to it, but I've gotten Chris Jericho, I've gotten Triple H, but the Shawn Michaels thing happens a lot. I get Jean-Claude Van Damme sometimes.
Oh yeah, I bet too. Yeah.
Mostly I get RVD though, but
mostly, yeah.
But just like, was it Sapphire Pool Party? When was that, baby?
Yeah.
Saturday? Yeah, just a few days ago. we were leaving a pool party, and then when I leave, everyone comes up that was leaving me alone, right? And they get pictures, and then Katie's always cool. She'll take the picture for him, and she's happy to do that. And then we go to walk away, and another dude comes up with his phone, and he goes, "Shawn Michaels?" Just a few days ago, yeah.
Really?
And like, no.
The Heartbreak Kid right here.
Yeah, it happens a lot. So other people definitely see the comparison.
How often do you get mistaked for Matt Byrne?
Not too often.
No? Oh, okay.
I don't think Matt Byrne had too many fans, really.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He never did anything remarkable.
Oh, okay.
Nothing extraordinary.
I think he sells real estate now. I'm not sure.
Fake estate.
Yeah, there you go. When you came to the WWF in 2001, Shawn was still away in the WWF. He left in 1998 after losing the world title to Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14 because of a back injury he suffered at Royal Rumble that year when he wrestled The Undertaker in a casket match. He returned to the WWF in 2002. Do you have any memories of interactions with him when he returned? Well, we talked about you not knowing when you first met him. Do you remember him actually coming back or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I associate that with the match I had with him. So, I mean, I'm sure that's coming up. But
we're talking about it.
I got to jump to it because that's what I think about when he came back. And I had a match with him at Madison Square Garden, I believe. And at this time, I was still, like I was just saying, still in that frame of mind, where it's like, dude, I'm my own man. everybody wanted me to be excited about the match. I remember all the agents it was weird for me because, I think I've explained I came up in a different time and I wasn't allowed to even be a fan the first time I came in a dressing room way before my first match. You're not a fan if you're one of the boys. That's just how Sabu and Sheik taught me. And now it's much different, but this is, what was it, 2002, you said?
This was 2002, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like it was weird for me that I remember specifically a conversation with Stephanie McMahon, and it was already after everyone else was trying to pique my brain to see how I felt, how excited I was and all that. And I didn't get it. She said, do you, is this like, I don't know, like a dream match for you? Like, I don't know, like, do you have dream matches? And I felt, like I had a relationship with her enough to where I felt like I could open up and talk. And I said, I don't get it. Like, why is everybody coming up to me, asking me this? I mean, I'm a competitor here. I'm like, have you seen the matches I've had since I've been here for the last 12, 18 months or whatever? Like,
right.
Like everyone's wondering about how this match is going to be. If the match isn't great, that's on him. He's the one with the bad back. He's the one that's been missing and he's just coming back. And like everyone's asking me like how I feel about this match. And it's just, I didn't get it. I was really confused, and admittedly right now, as I say that, it sounds, a little bit disrespectful on my part, I guess to not just say I'm honored to work with them or whatever, but my competitive spirit, gave me that perspective.
Well, too, it's like, I'm sure at that point in time, like you're talking about having that competitive, aspect of it all, like you looking more to him as like a colleague than like, hey, so this is somebody I, was growing up a little bit watching.
Exactly.
So you want to have that kind of mindset where it's like, hey, this is kind of like a shark infested waters in a certain amount of ways, and I'm trying to, make my own route in this business. So it's like,
yeah, you get it. That's what it is. Fans don't get that. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I did the RVDology episode, and I talked about Scott Hall, and like, man, some of the comments on there, some of the fans were pissed, and I'm like, yeah, you forget, I'm not a fan. This is a guy I work with. I'm just talking about another dude, that's one of my peers.
right.
Yeah, you get it though.
Yeah. All right, so maybe this is where this happened, Rob, at Madison Square Garden, because the first time you were in a match with Shawn was at Survivor Series 2002. So where you and him were 2 of the 6 in the first ever Elimination Chamber match. Okay, so yeah, the first ever elimination. Was this in Madison Square Garden? 2 didn't get to be in the ring at the same time. As you were eliminated before Shawn entered the match, he'd go on and pin Triple H to win the world title. So Shawn had a bad rep for his attitude before he left in 1998, but pretty much everyone seemed to say that he was a totally changed man when he returned to WWF in 2002. Did you ever hear about people talking to you about that? And did you ever see any evidence of that with his interactions or any stories that you heard?
Of his change?
Yeah, of his change. Like from bad attitude to kind of, kind of reset his morals. I know he got married and faith became a big aspect of his life and all that kind of stuff. I know you had comments before on this, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like I've heard him say it a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guy that I didn't know him, back in before '98 to compare.
Yeah.
But the guy, as far as him being there around in the building, any interactions or working with them when I was there, he wasn't that that horrible, shitty person that he was rumored to have been before. So I tend to believe that he did grow, and to jump forward, by the way, at WrestleMania this year, I think I might have talked about this on the show. I don't know, but I saw him caught him by himself, and I ran up to him, and said, hey, I said, dude, the footage of me making fun of your eye, like that just will never die. People love it. And I tell them I'm glad that you're entertained by it, but I feel like, such a dick because that has to suck so bad. And I had double vision with my concussion, for a long time. I had to go to vision therapy and all these experts. And when I told him that, he said, "Yeah, I saw the movie." So I was like, "Sweet, you watched Headstrong." And then and I said, like to think about, just the headaches and how inconvenient that would be, because I was thrown way off my game, not being able to see right. It just like, for a while I was like lost, like and then and I can just imagine, and he said something, about that something to the effect, about that he didn't take it that seriously, which he's told me before, but I still wanted to say this, but something about growth. He said something, because I said, like fucking, I wouldn't do that now, like that. I wouldn't, like now I'm all about trying not to put anything negative out there. And he said something about, we all kind of, look at me. I used to be a dick. I paraphrase. I don't remember what he said, but he said something about like I can relate. Like we all, grew from where we were before, and then whatever. And, we hugged it out. And I said, "Thanks for watching Headstrong, bro. Spread the word."
Available on Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, no, because it's like I have a lazy eye too. You might have noticed it already, but like if I look with this side, the other eye goes screwy. So I'm looking at you right now. So I don't know where it goes. But it's like, but it's not. I never got hit in the head. Oh, I got a concussion the one time, but like I was born that way.
That didn't cause that, though.
Yeah,
I had. I mean, that's why I've always worn glasses since I was like 2 years old, because both my eyes didn't go forward. My mom always says I was cross-eyed. I think I'm farsighted, but I don't even know if it's farsighted or nearsighted. I think I'm farsighted, but my eyes have always been bad. And just even if I didn't have my glasses on or contacts for a couple of days, I think I would just start getting a headache from straining and shit. So obviously it took a dick to make fun of him, and I just told him, you didn't deserve that for anything you did to me or whatever. It's just for being the man that you are.
That's right.
You earned it. You earned that position. Yeah.
All right. So here it is. Yeah. Wait, is this it? Let me check. On the November 18th, 2002 Raw, okay. So this is the week before. You won a triple threat match against Booker T and Chris Jericho to earn the shot at the world title. And then that takes us to the match we've been talking about. November 25th, 2002 Raw. This is in Charleston, South Carolina. And what many would consider a dream match. And heck, Jim Ross even said that on commentary, who was great, by the way, during this match. What he broke down and how he raised the stakes to it was awesome. Said it was a dream match, a match that many thought would never happen. You challenged Shawn Michaels for the world title. Now, Chris writes here, you kind of laid the groundwork for this match in ECW in 1998. After you did the Van Dam lift, you looked into the camera. You looked into the camera, and you said you never claimed to be the showstopper. You're Rob Van Dam. You are the fucking show. And, of course, the showstopper was Shawn Michaels' nickname. So how about that?
True. Good point.
Good research by Chris there. Talk about the day of this match. Did people come up to you and talk to you about the match beforehand? What was kind of like your mindset, if you remember anything?
Well, so that's this is the night that I was just talking about before. I just had the locations mixed up, apparently, because I totally remember it being Madison Square Garden. But if it was Charleston, South Carolina, then it's that singles match though. And he was coming back from a back injury, and I was just like, I know he's Shawn Michaels and all, but dude, have you seen the whole damn show? Like, have you seen what I've been doing? And like, this isn't gonna be the one bad match I have. Relax, everybody. And if it's anything less than perfect, I felt like he was the risk. I thought that I had built up a steady streak of enough momentum to where they could feel confident in me, my performance. And I felt like that was being questioned just by, did I have what it took to meet up, to the standards of this guy? I don't know. That's how I felt like inside my head, but outside of that, I don't remember much of the match. I think I remember doing a crossbody out to the floor.
Yeah, you did. It was cool.
Maybe he was taped up too. Were his ribs taped or?
No, his ribs weren't taped up. You did almost. It was kind of like almost an Acai moonsault, but you kind of like turned around and did like a moonsault crossbody in a way. You didn't catch him quite well, I noticed, but then you guys kind of recovered. But I tell you what, the selling in this match that you were doing was like top tier kind of stuff because he was working your leg a good amount of the match, and like that was a huge focus of it. And then obviously his back was the story on his end, where like there became opportunities and stuff like that.
So did a rolling splash on his back.
Yes, that's how the finish happened.
Okay.
But for the match here, Shawn, there was a backstage segment where Shawn came to you in the dressing room and slapped you immediately, and you slapped him back. Chris asked, how much did you hold back on that slap? I thought it was a cool segment, the little bit of I saw.
No holding back.
Yep, no holding back. It was cool shit, man. It was just like, all right, these two guys are game and they're ready to fucking fight one another.
Yeah, we can take it. We can take
exactly.
It. Send it in.
Send it in, baby.
That's that's an expression Gary Albright and Doc Steve Williams used to always say in Japan. You know, we talk about someone being really stiff, like Kawada's ass or something. We'd be joking, saying, "Send it in." You know, we'll take it. Fuck it.
Who was the hardest slapper that ever slapped you? Is there one that you're like, holy fuck, that was a lot?
I'm sure there was, but I can't remember. Like nothing. No, I guess nothing pops out like that.
Stands out.
I remember that it has happened. You know.
Yeah.
I have gotten smacked really hard where I was like, motherfucker. Like, but you just, you know, guess what? You got a receipt coming.
Right. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. I just it's a quick transition or transaction rather. You can't wait till later on, you know. It's like hey, next shot's yours, baby.
And you know what? Like you can't really you can't hone in on a slap. You can't half-ass a slap. You kind of got to show it. And it's like, I don't know. Like you think about that, like when chair shots happen and stuff like that.
By the way, I hate almost all wrestling punches, and here's something people don't know, but I have a great fucking punch, and I never have it. No one really says anything about it, but prior to like 2000. I don't know if it was 1 or 2. My punches were not on par, and that's because, well, like from doing real punches from martial arts and shit, you do it quick and you try to hide the motion so that they don't see it coming. You know what I mean? And then with wrestling or with screen fighting, it's an exaggerated move. Where there's a lot, it's a lot more dramatic so that everybody can see it in the top row. And so sometimes like I would do like these little jabs, and people would say in ECW, and people would tell me even like my first year in WWE, like they would talk about my punches sometimes, get me aside, agents or whatever, and they would say, you know, like they'd act like just my punches are holding me back, you know. And I was like, everyone's punches suck, you know. Look at the top guys, and they punch with the meaty boom, or they hold the guy's hand or they hold the guy's chin every time. Yeah, I'm a critic of, like, I hate almost everybody's punches, except Sabu's. Sabu's were always great, and it was Blackjack Lanza one time at a WWE show that he pulled me aside before the show and he said, "Come here." He goes, "I'm going to teach you how to punch." Because I was like, dude, you're saying like everyone's acting like I got everything, but this one little thing bothers like so many people. There's got to be something to it. But when I watch other wrestlers' punches, I'm like, I hate their fucking punches. Like I hate what people accept for punches. But anyway, Blackjack Lanza, he just looked at me, stand here, and he just like showed me, and it just from that one, 5-10 minutes, whatever it was with Blackjack Lanza, because he wanted to take the time. He changed me, and after that point on, my punches are always like fucking, right on and
spot on, man.
Boom. I never get credit for it, dude. So I'm gonna do the Barry Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz, that baby.
Fucking yeah. Although sometimes I'll do like an uppercut like to the ribs, and that still like doesn't have enough movement, to look really good. But it's like a follow through with the shoulder that, if you really know, bam, like that's how you uppercut. But with wrestling, it's got to kind of
you got to exaggerate a little bit, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's drama, it's movement. You want everyone to be able to see it, and like quick. Yeah. Anyway, and I also people do like, come on, dude, wait, do on my chest, and you want me to, what do you want me to do? Why do you give me a massage?
Right. All right. So yeah, the finish saw you hitting Shawn with the frog splash to his back, but Triple H came through the crowd, pulled you outside the ring, and hit you with the pedigree on the floor. You and Shawn never again wrestled each other for some crazy reason. Were you ever disappointed about that? It would have been a heck of a WrestleMania match, that's for sure.
Yeah. Not that I know of. Nope. I don't, yeah, I mean, I probably didn't notice.
Yeah.
But I do have a Shawn Michaels story.
All right.
We were in Australia, and there was it's a touristy thing. It's the bridge. I think it's the Sydney Bridge, and you can climb it. And we were getting like told by everybody that it was like really dangerous because Shawn and I were somehow handpicked as a wrestling appearance, kind of promotional thing to do to climb the I think it's the Sydney Harbor Bridge. And like Dean Malenko kept coming up and said, "No, it's not too late to back out. You sure you're going to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "All right," because I mean, and then someone else to come up and say, like, very few people have this honor or a chance to do this. You know that, right? Like, this is really like a big deal. And they kept coming up to both of us and saying that, and we're like, "Dude, what?" Yeah, and and they're, "Are you sure now? All right, it's not too late. We can get someone else to do it because it's like, I mean, you're going to be like way up there." I'm like, "I don't care. Other people do it. I'll do it, of course." And then, and we were like, like, man, this is going to be like? We're going to be like climbing, or what? This is going to be crazy. When it came down to it, it's like a touristy. It steps the whole time, and you have a belt with a loop on it, and a long chain runs through that loop, so you can never fall and leave the pack anyway. And you hook yourself up to the chain, and you just like walk up the steps, and it was so. I don't want to say it was lame, but as far as the risk factor, scare factor, super lame. There was pictures inside afterwards in the souvenir shop, pictures all over the wall of all these like grandmas that did it. Frankie Muniz or whatever his name is, Malcolm in the Middle. He was out, that dude did it. Oh my god!
What the fuck?
Yeah, we got worked, but it was cool. It was cool.
Not a Stallone and cliffhanger kind of shit.
No, not at all. Like, I was like, can I at least like unhook myself and run up the steps? No.
Jeez. Well, cool. So how I usually end these, like legacy-wise, Shawn Michaels in the business. He's obviously with NXT, operates that ship, known as Mr. WrestleMania. Just plenty of, let's say a lot of people say he's one of the best workers in the business to ever live. What do you think his legacy is overall in wrestling coming into play?
I think that he will go down as one of the best workers, best wrestlers in the industry, and he was instrumental in breaking ground from being the previously considered giants to closer to the 200-pound mark guys, and with that came more demand. You guys are, instead of being 400 pounds, if you're 220, work your ass off for me, and that's what he would do, and that's what we all do, and that allowed the fans to adapt to that and appreciate the difference, and And I think a lot of that was because of his matches with Bret Hart and all of his stuff. So yeah, he's gonna go down as that guy, and rightfully so.
No doubt about it. It's kind of like you think about, he always gets compared, but both these guys, it's almost like Jordan and LeBron, almost like Sean and Brett, the two rivals, even although obviously Jordan and LeBron didn't play with one another, but Brett and Sean, they always get the comparisons about like, hey, which camp are you kind of in? Where I think in a lot of ways with wrestling, you can kind of take from both of them, be like, they were both great in their own right,
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So.
For sure.
So you know what, Rob? Since we're gonna get you out here a little early again, we'll hold off on the stretcher match. We're gonna hold off on the stretcher match here, but we will take a few Ask RVDs. So
cool.
I credit a wrestling historian for kind of helping curate some of these. But here we go. We'll start with this one. Jason Bayless says, according to Taker, Rob was originally his scheduled opponent for WrestleMania 18 had he not wanted to work with Rick. I was wondering, did Rob ever hear that, and what kind of match do you think he and Taker could have delivered at WrestleMania? Did you ever hear anything about that, Rob?
I don't recall ever hearing that. If I had, then I just let it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did wrestle him a lot, and we had good matches. We had a lot of cage matches too. For some reason, we went on the road, and it felt very much like two veterans being in the ring. Didn't need to even see each other before the match. It was like easy, comfortable being in there, without having to think about anything, except for just being in the moment and stuff. So it was cool, but I don't think I did too well in the win-loss department against Taker.
Who does against Taker though half the time, Brock Lesnar's the only one that kind of fucking have his number. So what do you think about that the streak ending? Has anybody ever asked you about that, the streak, that kind of coming into play? Would you let his legacy kind of live on, or would you have been like, let him pass it on to somebody else in a certain way?
I thought that it was cool. I mean, it's a wrestling storyline. Brock Lesnar is, in my opinion, one of the most outstanding individuals to be in the industry. The fact that he could be the UFC champion at the same time and legitimately brag about being the toughest guy in the world because he sat in that seat. That was so good for the business, and he's so good for the business. He's what a pro wrestler should be. He's a great amateur wrestler that went pro because he was so damn good. So hey, why not? Who else? Who else is going to beat Undertaker? But I was there at WrestleMania when it happened, and I was shocked at the shock. I couldn't believe how all the boys were putting that over, and they all turned into little kids in my mind. I'm like, why do they care so much? I'm disconnected from that fandom heart, for better or worse. And so I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at I'm in the back in the press box or whatever with all the boys, and they're all going, what? And I was like, are you being serious right now? That's how I felt. It was strange for me.
Well, you know what though, Brock, at that moment in time, he was pretty cooled off. Like, people expected him when he came back and stuff. He was intense because he destroyed Cena, all that stuff. But I remember at the time being like, I was like, Brock's gonna lose, and like it's just another fill gap for Taker and stuff like that. So it's like that really put him back on the map as like this fucking world beater that he is. So to that point, he's like carried that on and carried WWE on as like one of the top guys. And like he's like, Nash said this on his previous podcast, he's a unicorn in wrestling. It's just like
that was a good investment. It was a good investment.
Very good investment. Yeah. All right. To tie that in, a wrestling historian asks, "Can you tell us a funny story with Kane at all? Thanks in advance. Any good stories with Kane?"
When we were in India, I think it was 2003. I think might have been 5, but Kane and I did a commercial where we were in a ring. It was set up outside, and there was some little kid that I think the kid is associated with this cookie or cracker, animal cracker or something. And I think the kid was famous for doing these commercials, and he was in the ring beating us up, like throwing us around and stuff. I've never seen the commercial. I don't know what happened to it. I wonder if that exists out there. That would be pretty cool to see.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I've never seen
Animal cracker commercial, nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. All right. We'll just go with this one real quick. This is like a cheap plug for RVDology, I think, but we'll see what you say too. Kip in Buffalo asks, "Dear RVD, how do you stay so productive? What habits, behaviors, and actions do you employ to stay on top of your game?" I mean, you say a lot of this stuff too in RVDology, which Kip, you should check out. Good stuff. We'll table it for this week, but RVDology is one of my favorite segments that we do on the show. So, and then you do your own videos on it too. So.
It's all relevant because it's the way that I live, and the answer to this one is I prioritize. That's how I stay as productive as I do. In my mind, I could always be way, way more productive. There's like 100 projects in my head at all times. And so I have to not give each of them a piece of me, because then I'm too dispersed, and that's not good for my overall bundle of energy that I'm trying to hold together here. And I've learned that, and so I prioritize. And so some things I might be working on right now because it's my front plate, that might change. Something else might come along that's more important. I might have to put that away for a second. I might have to put that away for 10 years. And there are projects that are at least 10 years old, half-written shit. I always know where I could improve, and that's part of being self-aware and improving. First, you got to see where you can improve. You know what I mean? And so I prioritize with that. If it's important enough to me, then I'll put more energy into it and improving and being more productive.
Yep, there you go. And to tie it too with RVDology, I think of what you said during the competitive one, where it's like chalk things up as little wins, like that you do throughout your course of time. Like, and little wins, like it's like, hey, I got this stuff done, and that's what I should be, content with about. And I'm building towards it, and prioritizing adds on to it. So no doubt about it, Rob.
Every time you get something off your list, make a list. I do lists all the time, all over envelopes and notebooks and everywhere. But like each time I get to cross one off, that's a W. It's like I gotta call the accountant. Boom, did that. W. I gotta find these checks. Boom, scored another W. Sometimes it's a really small W because I don't really feel like doing much. But I'm like, you know what? All I gotta do is I've been wanting to put that in the shed or put something away. Let me go get that little W. Sometimes it's a really big W, and it's like, whew, feels good to have that finally off my plate. But that's a good way to stay positive, stay productive, and just keep getting them W's.
There you go, Kip. That's how you do it, brother.
Yeah.
So, cool. Rob, see him in Fairfield, New Jersey this weekend.
Yeah.
For Wrestle Mash? Something that
even though we're doing Wrestle Bash 2.
Dope.
Yeah. Even though we're doing a short episode, I'll take a crack at spitting out some RVDology if you got a couple minutes.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, cool. We'll pop it up here. We'll Rob, it's time to wrap it up here. So RVDology, boom. Rob,
boom.
My friend.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about is the truth. And how important is the truth? Because we all have our own values. That means it's going to rank higher on certain people's lists than on others. For me, truth is very important. It's necessary. Yet at the same time, I don't need for everyone to know the truth. So I don't often go out of my way to correct people if they misreport something. It's not something I usually feel the obligation for, because I figure like, well, they believe it, they're silly, whatever. But if you do that enough and you let the bullshit stay out there long enough, then it becomes common law truth to the basic thinker. And I know that true. I know that as well, so I have this podcast, so that inspires me to spit a little more truth, feel a little more motivated to maybe do like some corrections where normally I would just let it pass by and say, they're silly. I've said before, I've never ever read a report of my income, what I'm making with any company that's anywhere near what the truth is. But at the same time, I don't really feel like correcting it. But I have responded to it just to say, I wonder, like, do they make that up? Or does someone else make that up and then lie to them and they actually have a source? But either way, it's not important to me that everybody knows that particular truth. But then I personally won't lie about it. I just have my own boundaries like everybody should have. You should have your own boundaries. You should know where your boundaries are. The less that you compromise your own boundaries, the happier you are with yourself. I mean, I know a lot of people that maybe they're wrestlers like me, and they'll do an interview and say, oh man, she asked me about our sex life. I wish I wouldn't have gotten into that or whatever. You just weren't prepared. Like, whatever your boundaries are, be comfortable with that. And when they get there, talk around it or let them know, like, hey, you're going to have to keep dreaming about it, whatever. So it's not like I need everybody to know what the exact truth is. However, I feel like we are living tomorrow's history. And so if we bullshit and we fuck up all the facts, boom, that becomes the truth. And that does bother me. I've said this many times. I'm the most honest person that I know. And when I say that, I'm always surprised that nobody disputes it. Nobody ever says, no, I'm the most, they look at me and I think they probably think I'm lying right now. They probably think I'm full of shit when I say that. It's like some people probably think honest people don't really need to tell people that they're honest. I'm actually proud of it. It's a quality that I'm proud of. That's why I'm talking about it right now, about the truth. There's so many myths about me out there, and there always will be. I've heard or read that I have like a federal ID that allows me to smoke weed and the president can't fuck with me. From that to being on the cover of High Times magazine, guess what? That didn't even happen. That's just like one of those myths. And it's like, I just let people think it. I've read that I found a time machine in Pennsylvania and went back in time. There's always stuff out there, especially when you're of a status like I am, and I've been around for hundreds of years. So there's going to be a lot of legend, a lot of myths. Like Andre the Giant, half of his stories, you're like, is that really true? I just saw your brother, by the way, on Jake the Snake's show.
Yeah.
Jake talking about a story of Andre the Giant where Dick Murdoch and who was the other guy? Another big dude anyway, but they went to jump Andre at a bar and he threw him.
Blackjack Mulligan?
It might have been. Yeah, it was because he had.
I think I heard that story.
They were both Blackjack Mulligan stories. One was that, and so anyway, Andre threw both of them through two plate glass windows, went out, held the cab down, opened up the trunk, threw them in the trunk, got in the cab, went to the hospital. told the hospital, take care of these guys and send them back to the bar, and then took the cab back. Did that really happen like that? I mean, that's going to happen. And not to mention, a lot of real facts of my life are pretty incredible anyway. The cover shot of High Times magazine, that was actually inserted in. Ozzy Osbourne's on the cover. However, I don't care, to ruin people's memories of it, but in real life, I did debate the former drug czar, Barry McCaffrey, on national television. That's a pretty big thing. But for me, I'm overly honest. My evil ex hated that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because some people, if they say they're overly honest, they're just negative people, and they feel like I'm just being honest, and they feel
Right.
I don't feel obligated to tell people something just because I think it's true. But if somebody asks me something, what I give them is going to be the truth. The fans on social media.
Oh boy.
Because of their relationship with the truth, here's what my legacy is going to go down as, which is all bullshit in their community, right? Everything, there's so much bullshit, and I just haven't bothered to comment on. Like when I write the book, it's going to be inconsistent with a lot of the stories that are complete bullshit. I've heard idiots on social media complaining about No Job Rob refusing to put young talent over. Never happened. That's not even the way the business works. They're going to think that me and Sabu were smoking weed, got arrested, and I got fired from WWE when I was champion. Like, I made a bad decision at that moment when I was on top. None of that's true. I smoked weed the whole way up the ride. And at that moment, not only were we not smoking, I didn't even get arrested. And I know people are going to give pushback on that, because you can probably hear me saying that I got arrested like over the last several years. I just recently found out that I wasn't arrested, because I've learned a little bit about the law. And what happened was they took all our luggage out right there on the side of the road, went through everything, and then I drove to the police station and then gave them some money, and then I drove away. You can't drive while you're arrested or even being detained. Yeah. And so anyway, that just happens. And besides, people are going to think that my brain is fried from concussions. That's another thing with legacy. People think that they have a better memory than me, that their brain works faster. I don't know how they somehow feel like I'm inferior to them because I've had concussions. But I think if you watch this show, not only can you see that my brain functions fine, and not only can you also see, like I mentioned before, that I smoke a couple of joints and I don't get baked or fucked up, but everyone still wants to know, how high was he? This is all part of my legacy, and people are going to think that I have CTE. That's what the idiots are going to be talking about. And of course, I don't have CTE. CTE is a degenerating, progressively worsening disease, like Alzheimer's. It gets worse and worse, and then you don't remember your name. I don't have it. I don't even have long-term brain damage that anybody except for one idiot on social media knows about. And not to mention, I went through all the tests and neurologists and all the doctors and went through everything. And still, because the fans are idiots, it's going to go down in history. RVD had CTE, and that's why he doesn't wrestle, because they don't care about the truth. Perception is reality. They hear something, good enough for them. They're going to take that and run with it. And by the way, quick point. Last week I started something I didn't finish it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because Katie changed my perspective on this. I kind of thought that it was like trolling because when it comes to cannabis, and I'm an advocate, I'm a facts and numbers guy. I feel like I'm above the level of, dude, let's stand on our head and do a gravity bong, whatever, dude. I fight for everyone's rights, and I have to lower myself sometimes to connect with that level because that is a big part of the community of cannabis. But the point I wanted to make, when people try to discredit whatever, I'm doing whatever I'm saying with, dude, how high are you? Dude, you're so big. And then to them, I felt like that was kind of like trolling, like these guys, like they're trying to discredit me. And Katie changed my perspective on that. She said, no, they're connecting with you because those are your people. You know, those are your people that are like, dude, they want to know like how high are you, how big, because they think it's cool about you. And she changed my perspective on that to where I'm like, you know, I think she's right, at least some of the times, not all the time. I mean, depending on how it's worded, but I get that now. So instead of feeling insulted by it, I recognize it, you know, for what it is. So I appreciate her changing my thoughts on that because, as you know, I have a lot of idiots on social media that are committed to disagreeing with me or misunderstanding me, and I'm going to start blocking them. I just decided that. Someone I read today, someone said, "Don't block them, put them on mute. That way they still read, but you can't see them." And that sounds like a good idea. But as long as I've been on Twitter, I've blocked like just a handful of people. It's just been something that I really didn't believe in, free speech and all. But when you look at it like it's just negative energy from certain posts, and that's all they want is to change your energy, to lower your frequency. Bah, nobody needs that. So I'm going to start doing that, and that's cool. And in the meantime, dude, truth is pretty fucking important, man. It's real life. It's all relatable. When you tell lies, then you gotta remember shit that you told. You gotta cover them up. I mean, I used to think it was cool to be a player when I was young and stupid and have a bunch of girls and lie to them and fuck them over and stuff. Now I think, what a piece of shit I was, you know? And if you're a piece of shit and you don't realize it yet, maybe this will help you out, you know? And not everyone's in a position like I am where they can have a complete foundation built from the ground up like I have so personally done that can afford the truth. Still, that's on you. That's you and your disingenuous life, and you that got yourself in the predicament where you can't tell the truth. And really, I don't think it's that important to everyone anyway, as much as it is to me. But like I say, right now, we are living tomorrow's history. I don't want to change it. That's all, dude.
I like it, Rob. You know, it's good stuff because, yeah, it's neat too that Katie gave you that different perspective on it because, yeah, people like they want to connect with you, and that's like, hey, I smoke weed, I get high, and I know Rob gets high. That's something that I can't usually share with somebody maybe in my life, but I can share with Rob. You know, so
I just take it as like I'm above that because, as I've said, you know, for me, I would quit smoking completely if that would make it more accessible to everybody that really needs it. I mean, it's my interest in the agenda of ending prohibition is not like one of a selfish desire to get fucked up, because I don't get fucked up. You know, if you see me on here getting fucked up, let me know.
Right. Like I said last week, Rob, I never noticed. Like when you said you smoked 2 joints, I had no clue. We've been recording how many episodes?
And that's not everybody, but that's me. And we're all individuals. You know, I have people tell me like, dude, come on, there's no way you don't get the munchies. I don't. And I'm not the only one. I know plenty of other functional tokers that don't get the munchies.
Right. Well, yeah, I think it's good too to just be like, hey, if you mute them or if you block them, either way, it's like you're getting that negative energy out of there. But like, it's like I always try to think too. It's like Twitter only, or the X, whatever it is now, is only 20% of the population. So like their perspective is skewed and it's always negative. It's just like, oh,
Right, I don't want to be accessible to certain people or forms of life.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Before social media, you weren't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like growing up, you couldn't just pick any random actor. You know, you couldn't just just send Robert De Niro a message. You know,
Right.
you suck. I hate that mole on your face, asshole. That's it.
Yep.
People do, and they don't realize that the more shit you put out there, the more you're just surrounding yourself with shit. You're like a dog stuck in a little dog pen cage, and you're surrounding yourself with shit because that's all you put out there.
That's it. Guys, we won't surround you with shit here on the Podcast Network. No way. We're on the premiere. If you want to catch it every Friday at 4:20, we drop on the Premier Streaming Network, but you can catch us everywhere on Monday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Rob just conducted an interview with Denise Salcedo, and very good. So go out of your way to check that out. Rob shares some cool insight on different things, music, a cool perspective on music you have that we haven't touched upon, but you touched it on there. So check it out there. As far as anything else, yes, see Rob in Fairfield, New Jersey.
August 20th, depending on when they listen to this, is the Wrestle Bash 2.
Boom. Coming up this weekend, folks.
At Fairfield, New Jersey. Big Time Collectibles. I guess Big Time Collectible. Oh, AsylumWrestlingStore.com. So that's probably the vendor that's bringing me in.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
How about that? And then, coming up Labor Day weekend, we're going to see Rob at StarCast 6 in Chicago, Illinois. So be on the lookout for that. Should be a good time. It's always a good time under that Conrad promotion. So.
And we'll see you there, right?
Right. I will be there as well. So it'll be a little get-together kind of thing. We'll definitely be hanging out. So
mind show. Oh, yeah. You know what? I wanted to open this up. My airbrush artist sent me a new outfit.
Oh, okay. Hey, like an unboxing kind of thing.
Yeah. What do you think? Good idea?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Want to do it? We'll close it out.
Okay.
The show like that.
Try not to get my address on here and still show what I'm what I'm doing. But I got a FedEx envelope.
Oh
here.
Boy.
Anyway. Nope, I lied. It's UPS. Yep. Anyway, dude, Joe Holland sent me a new outfit, and
right
here we go.
Oh, it's different color.
All right, it's blue.
I like it.
It's in plastic, right? And where will I wear this? Battle Creek, Michigan, perhaps. And it is RVD.
Wow.
And, dude, it's very similar to the tiger striped orange and white that everybody loves, but it's beautiful blue. What do you think?
Looking great. I like it. That's like almost Jurassic Parkish too, in a way. I like it.
RVD.
Damn good. Damn good, Rob.
Damn good.
Where are we going to see that at? You guys got to wait and find out. That's how it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So.
I think that might be my next match. I'm not even sure about that. But that's coming up, though.
We'll see where the chips fall, huh?
Boom.
Boom. Battle in Battle Creek, baby. Ooh, yeah.
Battle in the Creek 3.
Boom.
Wrestle Bash 2.
Coming on up.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. All right. We'll see you next week here on One of a Kind with RVD.
Tell the truth.